हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम टू माय चैनल पीआर नॉलेज सेंटर। आज हम करेंगे विजन आई सितंबर मंथ करंट अफेयर, जिसमें इन्वायरमेंट का हम पूरा करेंगे करंट अफेयर सितंबर मंथ का। तो उसके पहले भी सारे वीडियो आ चुके हैं, सिक्योरिटी का, इंटरनेशनल सिक्योरिटी, आईआर, बहुत सारे वीडियोस आ चुके हैं। तो आज हम करेंगे इन्वायरमेंट। और अगर आपको पसंद आता है चैनल, प्लीज लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करें। और साथ ही मैं टेस्ट भी करवा रही हूँ और एनसीईआरटी भी, तो उसको भी क्लास लीजिए। और ठीक है, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं, क्योंकि टाइम बहुत कम है, दिसंबर आ गया है और पढ़ना बहुत है। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। तो इन्वायरमेंट में आज हम करेंगे नमामि गंगे। आज करेंगे मतलब इसका पहला न्यूज क्या है, ये सितंबर मंथ का नमामि गंगे प्रोग्राम एनजीपी। Why news? According to the latest projection on the Namami Gange program, the installed waste treatment plant are capable treating just 20% of the sewage estimated to the generated in 5 major states that lies along the river. मतलब एक अध्ययन किया गया जिसे पता चला कि नवीनतम निष्कर्ष से पता चला कि जिन 5 राज्यों से होकर गंगा नदी गुजरती है, राज्यों में एनजीपी के तहत स्थापित अपशिष्ट उपचार संयंत्र कुछ कुल अनुमानित सीवेज केवल 20% का ही उपचार करने में सक्षम है, दर्शाए। More on news, the projection has also revealed that out of total of 409 projects, only 332 projects have been completed and made operational till December 2022. Very good. अबाउट एनजीपी के बारे में जान लेते हैं, नमामि गंगे प्रोग्राम के बारे में। ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? इंटीग्रेटेड द कंजर्वेशन मिशन टू द एनकम्प्लाइज द ट्विन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द इफेक्टिव अबैटमेंट ऑफ द पोल्यूशन एंड कंजर्वेशन ऑफ द रिजुवेनेशन ऑफ रिवर गंगा। Also cover distributory under the one umbrella program phase 1, phase 2 में कन्वर्ट कवर हुआ था, जैसे कि नमामि गंगे मिशन जो 2014 से 21 तक चला, और नमामि गंगे मिशन सेकेंड जो 2022 से 26 तक चलेगा। की फीचर क्या है? टाइप सेंटर सेक्टर स्कीम है और इम्प्लीमेंटेड एजेंसी है नेशनल मिशन फॉर क्लीन गंगा एंड इट्स स्टेट काउंटरपार्ट स्टेट प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट ग्रुप्स। की पिलर्स है सीवरेज ट्रीटमेंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रिवर फ्रंट डेवलपमेंट, रिवर सरफेस क्लीनिंग, बायोडाइवर्सिटी, एफोरेस्टेशन एंड पब्लिक अवेयरनेस, इंडस्ट्रियल इन्फ्लुएंस एंड मॉनिटरिंग एंड गंगा ग्राम। एंड मेजर स्टेट कवर्ड उत्तराखंड, उत्तर प्रदेश, झारखंड, बिहार एंड वेस्ट बंगाल। कौन कौन से हैं? उत्तराखंड है, उत्तर प्रदेश है, झारखंड, बिहार और वेस्ट बंगाल। याद कर लीजिए, पूछेगा कहाँ से गंगा नदी गुजरती है। एंट्री लेवल एक्टिविटीज इमीडिएट फॉर विजिबल इम्पैक्ट, मीडियम टर्म एक्टिविटीज टू इम्प्लीमेंटेड विद इन 5 years of the time frame, and long term activities to be implemented within 10 years. Minimum 5 years, maximum 10 years. Challenges faced by NGP: delay in the implementation of the project, mainly due to factors such as delays in the hanging over land and delaying the getting permission from the National Highway Authority of India and Railways etc. चलिए नमामि गंगे प्रोग्राम के बारे में अब जान लेते हैं। जेनेसिस क्या है? रजिस्टर्ड एज द सोसाइटी इन 2011 अंडर द सोसाइटीज रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट 1860. Structure to tier management structure covering council and executive committee. An executive committee has been authorized to accord approval for all projects up to 1,000 crore and legal backing. It is placed at place in 5-year structure and envisaged by the Environment Protection Act 1986 for River Ganga. Other tiers are National Ganga Council chaired by PM and Empowered Task Force on River Ganga under the chairmanship of Union Minister of Jal Shakti and State Ganga Committee and District Ganga Committee. स्टेट एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट गंगा कमेटी की ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? मेंटेन एंड मिनिमम इकोलॉजिकल फ्लो इन द रिवर गंगा, ensure the effective abatement of the pollution and rejuvenation by the adopting on river basin approach. की फंक्शन क्या है? implement the World Bank supported National Ganga River Basin Project. Achievement of Namami Ganga program. Medium value of the dissolved oxygen indicator for river health has been found to within acceptable limits as per survey in 2022. Out of 1,072 grossly polluting industries, 885 have been brought under the Central Pollution Control Board on online continuous influence monitoring stations. Other key initiative Cleaning Ganga is Clean Ganga Fund 2014. It was formed to clean up the Ganga and National River Ganga Basin Authorities. It was constituted under the provision of the EPA 1986 and other is ban on the waste disposal and collaboration with the other countries. एंड challenges में और बात करें तो पुअर फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट, only about 14,745 of the funds have been released by Namami Ganga to state government of the mission for cleaning Ganga and other agency till June 2023. States are dependent on the center for the fund, indicate sewage treatment and governance issues and lack of the participation. Namami Ganga strategies area in inversion क्या है? निर्मल गंगा, अविरल गंगा, जन गंगा, ज्ञान गंगा, अर्थ गंगा. निर्मल गंगा में सीवरेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन एंड वेस्ट वाटर रीयूज एंड साइकिल एंड रूरल सैनिटेशन एंड सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट. और अविरल गंगा में मेंटेनिंग द इकोलॉजिकल फ्लो, वेटलैंड में ओपनिंग एंड कंजर्वेशन and food plain management and sustainable agriculture, afforestation, biodiversity conservation and small river rejuvenation. And Jan Ganga में river front ghat and crematoria and community engagement and Ganga Run and Ganga Utsav and Ganga Quest and Ganga अमरत्राण अभियान and ज्ञान गंगा में water equally monitoring and high resolution mapping of the Ganga stretch and microbial diversity and aquifer the mapping and spring rejuvenation and cultural mapping of spring rejuvenation and cultural mapping and climate and scenario mapping and river cities alliance. And Earth Ganga में zero budget natural farming and monetization of reuse of the slug and the wastewater and livelihood generation and public participation and culture heritage and tourism and institutional building. वे फॉरवर्ड में बात करें तो वेरिफिकेशन द एग्जिस्टिंग and the planned sewage treatment plan need to verify the effectively and reliable and technology parameters by the independent agency. Revenue generation evolve new and innovative way to generate the sufficient revenues for operation and maintenance of water and wastewater infrastructure through pricing and valuing water, restore local store and mapping and updating of the land records and the other strategies. Many of other strategies like river linking, riverfront, development project, access to toilets, making village open, defecation free, etc. need to be integrated with long-term ecological and sustainability goals. That is the news. And next news is the IPBES. UPPSC assessment report on the invasive alien species on their control। मतलब जो आक्रामक विदेशी प्रजातियां और उनके नियंत्रण पर IPBES की आकलन रिपोर्ट है ये। Recently, the Intergovernmental Platform of the Biodiversity and Ecosystem Service has released the assessment of report and invasive aliens species and their control। मतलब जो विदेशी प्रजाति या पौधे या जीव जंतु आ जाते हैं तो वो बहुत हानिकारक होते हैं, उसके लिए है। More on news. The report analyzed the extent of the threat posed by such species, various categories by biodiversity and ecosystem service. It assesses the effectiveness of the current international relation and subnational control measures and associated with policy options, and could be employed and prevent the eradicate and control invasive alien species। And डेटा बैंक के अनुसार डेटा बैंक क्या है? अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट 37,000 एलियन स्पीसीज स्टेबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड वाइड, मतलब 33,000 स्पीसीज जो है वर्ल्ड वाइड है स्टेबलाइज, and 3,500 invasive alien species with negative impact of nature and also in some cases on people. For 34% and proportion of impact of the reported in the America, 31% Europe and Central Asia, 25% Asia Pacific, 7% Africa, and 75% on negative impact on reported from the terrestrial realm and especially temperate and the border forest and the woodland and cultivated areas। तो ये परसेंटेज दिया है, परसेंटेज वाइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसा है? तो 75 नकारात्मक प्रभाव स्थानीय क्षेत्र विशेष रूप से समशीतोष्ण और बेरियल वनों और प्रदेशों तथा कृषि में दर्ज किए गए हैं। अबाउट इन्वेसिव एलायंस, इसके बारे में बात करें आक्रामक विदेशी प्रजातियों के बारे में, तो इन्वेसिव एलायंस species represent the subset of the alien species known to have stabilized and spread and negative impact on the biodiversity and local ecosystem and species. Alien species are animal, plant and other organisms that have the introduced by human activities to new region, and all alien species are not invasive। मतलब तभी एलियन स्पीसीज आक्रामक नहीं होते हैं, कुछ तो होते हैं बहुत ज्यादा ही। एज पर द रिपोर्ट इन्वेसिव एलियन species are one of the 5 major direct driver of the diversity and loss globally. Alongside land and sea use change, direct exploitation of the organism and climate change and pollution. Common characteristic of invasive alien species include जैसे rapid reproduction and growth and high dispersal ability and ability to adapt the psychologically to new condition and ability to survive in various food types and new wide range of environmental condition। मतलब जो विदेशी स्पीसीज आ जाते हैं कुछ बहुत एनवायरमेंट पे हानिकारक होते हैं, तो ये सब रीजन्स हैं, मतलब ऐसे वो कॉमन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होती है। इंटर गवर्नमेंटल साइंस पॉलिसी प्लेटफॉर्म ऑन बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड इकोसिस्टम सर्विस, इसका फुल फॉर्म याद कर लीजिए, इंटर गवर्नमेंटल, established in 2012 and an independent intergovernmental body committed to the strengthen and science policy interface for conversation and sustainable use of biodiversity, long-term human well-being, and sustainable development. It is not a United Nations body, however, United Nations Environmental Programme provided secretariat service to IPBES. Membership 144 member state. All state member of UN are eligible for IPBES membership. Reason for growth of invasive alien species. Lack of legislation. 83% of the country do not have a national legislation or regulation directly, especially toward the prevention and control of invasive alien species. Nearly half of countries do not invest the management of invasive alien species and human activities. Many human activities facilitate the transport, introduction, and stabilization of the spread of the invasive alien species. It is estimated that 2050 the total number of alien species globally is expected to be about 36% higher than in 2005. Global trade. There is a strong link between the value and commodity import and the number of the invasive alien species in a region, increasing the international trade of the exotic plant and animal and the movement of the people, including and tourism, and facilitate the spread of the invasive alien species. Climate change facilities has been spread and stabilization of many alien species and create new opportunities for them to become invasive. Impact of invasive alien species. Environmental damage. They have devastating effect on the native plant and animals, leading to human wildlife conflict. Invasive alien species, especially trees and grass, can sometimes be highly flammable and promote more intense fire. 60% of global extinction have been caused solely and alongside other driver by invasive alien species. Initiative and against the invasive alien species target six of the coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework and Global Invasive Species Program, and there is the some program the Global Register introduced and the invasive species and the Ramsar Convention and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. And food security invasive species are the major cause of crop loss and degraded soil quality and social impact. They are negatively affect the autonomy and right and cultural identify the indigenous people through the loss of the traditional livelihood and the knowledge of reduce the mobility and access to the land and increase about to manage the invasive alien species. More than 2,300 invasive alien species are found on land and indigenous people across all regions of Earth. Health invasive alien species can serve as the vector for the infection, zoonotic, and disease that can lead to epidemics such as malaria, dengue fever, chikungunya, Zika, yellow fever, etc. Economic burden: the global economic cost of invasive alien species exceeded $423 billion annually in 2019, with cost having at least quadrupled every decade since 1970. Know the term biological invasion. It is the process of involving the international and unintentional transport movement of the species outside and natural range from human activities, and it is introduction in a new region where it may become stabilized and spread. Way forward, what can I do? Effective management, biological invasion and their adverse impact be prevented and mitigated through effective management and pathways of introduction and spread the invasive alien species. Pathway management involves strictly enforced import control, border and the post-border biosecurity and measures to address the escape from the confinement. Target invasive alien species at either local or landscape scales. Based on ecosystem-based management, awareness, public engagement with citizen science and platform of community and driven eradication and campaign can raise awareness and contribute to action that reduce threat of the invasive alien species. Integrated governance: there is need for a constant, specific, integrated governance approach involving complementary strategic actions such as enhancing the coordination and collaboration across the international and regional mechanism and developing and adopting the effective and achievable national strategies and sharing effort and commitment and understanding the species role of all actors and investment capacity building and targeted investment in research innovation and environmentally sound technology required for the eradication of the invasive alien species. UNESCO World Heritage Sites. YN News. According to the new research, the World Heritage Site make up less than 1% of Earth's surface, but they harbor more than 20% of planet biodiversity. More on news why. So we will discuss about that. 1 minute. More on news research was conducted by the United Nations Education, Science and Culture Organization UNESCO and International Union of Conservation of Nature IUCN. They are estimated to protect 20,000 endangered species. WHS have been preferred to last line of the defense against the extinction, play key role in the protection of Javan rhino and vacuitas, world's smallest cetacean, and pink leguanas. Also protect the Sumatran rhinos and Sumatran orangutans and mountain gorillas. About World Heritage Site and Conventions, it is an any of the areas or object inscribed by the UNESCO World Heritage List. These sites are designated as having outstanding and universal value under the World Heritage Convention of 1972. There are total 1,199 heritage sites under the convention. As of 27th September 2023, sites are selected under the categories cultural, natural, and mixed. There is 42 World Heritage Sites in India. Out of these, 34 are cultural and 7 are natural and one of mixed type. Other heritage convention, it has been adopted a convention on concerning the protection of the world culture and natural heritage. Principle recognize the way in the people interact and nature and the fundamental need to preserve balance between two. And parties and implementing agency 195 state parties including India and World Heritage Committee. Strategic objective credibility, conservation, capacity building and communication and communities. Why World Heritage Sites are unique in conservation biodiversity, cover wide horizon, region planning program, World Heritage Fund, and reporting the mechanism committee, etc. And public participation encourage the state parties to strengthen the appreciation of the public to enhance the protection through the educational and informational program. Policy action facilitate the dialogues between the policymaker and World Heritage actor in the development and the implementation of effective action. Balance between the nature and culture, strengthening the link between the nature and culture. So many cultural sites, including those in urban areas, promoting the biodiversity. Challenge faced by World Heritage Site, decline the population and endangered species, development activities, and climate change. Every 1 degree centigrade increase in global temperature could double number of species threatened by the dangerous climate condition due to its migration pattern and food availability. etc. have enhanced armed conflict along with the rising frequency of disaster. Heritage site face a burnt armed conflict. Example, UNESCO site of Q and Lviv are inscribed on the list of World Heritage in danger due to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Other nations modify the legal protection status. The area several deterioration of the natural beauty of science values. Conclusion: WHS need to given the more protection and priority are playing key role in the biodiversity conservation. It play a key role in the achieving the target of upcoming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. यूनेस्को के बारे में जानते हैं अबाउट स्टेबलाइज्ड जो है 1945 में हुआ था स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसी एंड यूनाइटेड नेशन टू प्रमोट द इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन इन एजुकेशन साइंस कल्चर कम्युनिकेशन एंड इंफॉर्मेशन membership 94 member including India and 12 associated member and structure has secretariat head director general and implemented the decision of the general conference and executive board. Function क्या है attaining the quality education for all, promoting the lifelong learning and mobilizing the scientific knowledge and policy of sustainable development and addressing the emerging social and ethical challenges and fostering cultural diversity and intercultural dialogues and a culture of peace. Building inclusive knowledge and societies through information and communication. Key initiative other information man of biosphere program. 1971 MAB is intergovernmental scientific program that aim to stabilize the scientific basis of the improvement of the relationship between people and their environment. Budapest Declaration on World Heritage 2002 adopted to ensure the World Heritage Convention applies to heritage in all the diversity. It is an instrument for the sustainable development and society through dialogue and mutual understanding. UNESCO strategy for gender equality and through education 2019 to 2025. It is also member of United Nations Sustainable Development Group and all member states have stabilized a national commission for UNESCO. Pacific Decadal Oscillation (PDO) ये क्या है? Why News according to a recent study, combination of global warming and the Pacific Decadal Oscillation could make cyclone more frequent in the coming year. Pacific Decadal Oscillation warm phase pattern, you can see that difference from average temperature and cooler and warmer. More news also both PDO and El Nino Southern Oscillation impact each other. Scientists have also pointed that the linkage of PDO and global warming. About PDO, PDO is a long-term ocean fluctuation in the Pacific Ocean. It has two phase, cool of negative phase characterized by cool wedge of the lower of the normal sea surface, highest ocean temperature and the eastern equatorial Pacific, and a warm horseshoe pattern of higher than normal sea surface height and connecting the northwest and southern Pacific. Warm or positive phase. It is reserved for cool phase in the West Pacific Ocean, become cool and wet in the east warms. It waxes and wanes approximately every 20 to 30 years. However, in the recent time, the warm and cold phases have been much shorter. About ENSO, so ENSO single climate phenomenon. It has three state of phase which are follows. It's El Nino, a warming for ocean surface above the average and surface of the temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific. It led to drought and deficient rainfall in Asia due to the essentially global monthly mean. Ocean temperature has risen and all-time and high relative temperature since record started to keep. La Nino, a cooling of the ocean surface below the average sea surface temperature in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, and neutral, neither El Nino nor La Nino, often typical Pacific state is generally close to average. Why PDO enhance the frequency of the cyclone? Negative PDO along with the La Nino phase create the situation condition for the tropical cyclone. In 2019, the PDO entered the cooler negative phase. It remains so could mean more tropical cyclone in the post-monsoon months than originate near the equator. The number of equatorial origin cyclone was 43% fewer in 1981 to 2010, matlab 2010 compared with the 1951 to 1980, and this was because our PDO was in warm and positive phase. It's usually a cyclone to form near the equator due to the absence of the Coriolis force, but when the water are warm, they can gain more moisture and rise in intensity. Relation between PDO and El Nino and Southern Oscillation. Climate impacts experienced during the PDO event can hang in hang impact ENSO. It both phenomena are the same phase. Their association impact can be amplified. Impact of Indian monsoon ENSO with the positive PDO is generally not good for the Indian monsoon. Monsoon impact of the Indian monsoon ENSO positive. You can see. Relation between PDO and global warming, it is thought the negative phase could link the time and of slower warming. This happens because of cold negative phase of PDO tend to increase maximum cooler deep ocean water with the warmer surface water. This temporarily reduce the global warming and cause the increasing greenhouse gas emission, and however positive phase of PDO have been opposite effect in increase the global warming. Conclusion: PDO is a complex phenomenon. It impacts the region and is ranging the USA to India due to climate change and other related events such as UNSO. Its cycle has changed, and recent times still research going to understand the different dimensions related to news marine heat wave. Long-term persistent warming and decrease the period and extreme the regional ocean warming is called marine heat waves. Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, and Bay of Bengal experienced it recently. Cause it occur when the surface temperature of the particular region of sea rise in 3 to 4 degrees Celsius above the average temperature of the last 5 years. El Nino has contributed its occurrence. Key characteristic क्या है? MHWs can last the week in even years. They can affect small areas of coastline and span the multiple oceans. And marine heat waves have increased by 50% over the past decade and now last longer or more severe. Impact marine ecosystem, death of the several marine species, and alter their migration and pattern and lead to coral bleaching and even impact weather pattern. Humans can make a storm stronger and several effect of coastal community, and these make the hurricanes and tropical cyclones stronger, more intense, and frequent. Participation due to its presence in Bay of Bengal, North West India receives sufficient rainfall. न्यूज इन शॉर्ट चलिए न्यूज इन शॉर्ट पे आ गए हम ब्रेक थ्रू एजेंडा रिपोर्ट क्या है ये जॉइंटली रिलीज्ड इंटरनेशनल एजेंसीज इंटरनेशनल रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एजेंसी एंड यूएन क्लाइमेट हाई लेवल चैंपियंस it is annual program report request in UN Climate Change Conference COP 26 2021 as part of Launch and Breakthrough Agenda. Breakthrough Agenda is an action plan for aim to align the action and coordinate investment across the five key sectors like as power, road transport, steel, hydrogen, and agriculture. Key finding: transition to clean energy, sustainable solution to accelerating, and country national determining contribution are not aligned with global climate goal. Power sector account of 23% total emission, which has risen around 10% since 2010. Sector-wise recommendation: power sector priorities, research and development, investment, storage and distribution, operation, energy resource, and other. Hydrogen define the regulatory framework for the storage technology transfer and increase the concessional finance and available for well-targeted users. Road transport agreed on the timeline for zero emission and established a standard for battery carbon footprint. Still established a dialogue on steel decarbonization policies and make emission accounting methodology and agriculture. Additional finance is needed for the agroecology reduction for food loss and waste, reducing methane emission and crop and livestock breeding. UNDP launches National Carbon Registry. United Nations Development Programme UNDP launches the National Carbon Registry. National Carbon Registry is one operation source software through allow countries to effectively manage and national data and process for trading carbon credit. It has been accredited a digital public good can integrate the national measurement and reporting the verification system to meet the international reporting requirement. National Carbon Registry will promote the development of the carbon market to facilitate the trading of carbon credit. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement allow the country to voluntarily cooperate with each other to achieve the emission reduction and target set in their national determined contribution. Carbon market are trading system in which carbon credit is sold and bought. Companies individual can use the carbon credit to compensate for their greenhouse gas emission for purchasing carbon credit for the entities of the remove the reduce the greenhouse gas emission. One tradable carbon credit equal to ton of the carbon dioxide and equivalent amount of the different greenhouse gas reduce the sequential to of or avoided. Carbon trading was introduced by Kyoto Protocol 9797 in India. Ministry of Power and notified carbon credit trading scheme 2023 for institutionalization of the functioning of the Indian carbon market. Technical report on the global stock take. The first global stocktake technique is synthesized the report released by the UNFCCC and the global stocktake GST aimed in serve as a report card for progress and countries under the 2050 Paris Agreement in achieving their climate action goal. The global stocktake is intended to evaluate the program of climate action on the global level, not the national level, and identity of overall gaps to achieve the Paris Agreement as well as opportunity to bridge them. Key finding: the world is not on track to meet the long-term goal in limiting global temperature to 2 degrees Celsius. Renewable energy has to be scaled up and all unabated fossil fuels. For example, coal plants without carbon capture and storage mechanism were to be rapidly eliminated to research net zero CO2 emissions. More ambitious mitigation target in NDC national determining distribution are needed to reduce emission more rapidly. Transparent reporting on the adoption can facilitate and enhancing the understanding, the implementation, and international cooperation support for the adoption and funding agreement of the averting, minimizing and addressing loss and damage from impact of the climate change needed to rapidly scale up from the expanded and innovative source. A focus on the inclusion and equity can increase the ambition in the climate action and support strategies. Capacity building support to be developed countries need to be scaled up to address locally determined need. Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan. Recently, Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan 2023 Clean Air Survey Award were announced. Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan is an initiative by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change under the National Clean Air Program. NCAP has been launched by the Ministry of Earth and Science वगैरह जो भी EFCC as the cooperative initiative. The partnership with various ministry and state in improved air quality at city, regional and national level. Objective of the Swachh Vayu Suraksha to create the awareness among the section of the society, to create the awareness of among the section of society and create the awareness among all section of the society and inform the citizens about the health impact related to exposure, comparing air quality condition in different local cities to achieve the goal of NCAP clean air for all and all 131 cities covered under the NCAP are required to do the self-assessment as per the framework provided on the Prana online portal. This dashboard to capture the progress of the NCAP program. 131 cities are categorized into three groups based on population and better performing cities, that is top cities, are each category are rewarded cash prize and trophy and certificate. In Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan 22 Indore ranked first in category million plus population. Amravati ranked first in second category 310 lakhs population and Parvanu ranked at the third category less than 3 lakh population. Criteria for स्वच्छ वायु सर्वेक्षण पहला है ब्लॉमिस्ट एंड म्युनिसिपल solid waste burning 20% and road dust 20% and dust from the construction of demolition water 5% and vehicular emission 20%. Emission from the industry 20%, improvement in PM10 concentrations 2.5% and activities IEC activities public awareness 2.5% and other emission 10%. Building materials and the climate. Building material and the climate construction is a new future report and released by the UN Environment Program UNEP. It highlights the urgent need of develop new model for cooperation and decarbonization of the building material. Report was developed in the collaboration with Gillette Center of the Ecosystem and Architecture in the framework of the Global Alliance in the Building and Construction. Decarbonization of building refer to removal or reduction of carbon dioxide emission into atmosphere. Need to decarbonize the building construction sector. It is responsible for at least 37% of the global emission, largest emitters of greenhouse gas to limit the global warming to 1.5 degree. A Paris Agreement and achieve net zero by 2050 and reducing the embodied carbon in building materials. Embodied carbon account of 11% of the annual global greenhouse emission arising from the manufacturing, transportation, installation and maintenance and disposal of building material. Challenges and decarbonization building construction sector regulate the market demand and lack of data and lack of capacity in the data collection and reporting the material changes, maintenance and repair that have occurred in the building over time. Decarbonizing the building and construction through avoid shift improve approach, avoid waste building with less life cycle analysis and resource efficient construction and local values chain and circular approaches and shift to bio-based building material supply chain and standards and certification and mainstreams and improve the conventional building material process innovation and substitution energy efficiency वगैरह जो भी है एंड अगला है सेंट्रल एम्पावर्ड कमिटी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज Farm CEC environmental issues. And that the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change is exercising the power under the Environment Protection Act of 1986 constituted permanently statutory CEC. The permanent CEC will replace an ad hoc CE formed in 2002 for monitoring the implementation of SCS order in the TN Godavarman Union. Godavarman versus Union of India 1996. Ad hoc CEC is been reporting by SC on step taken for removal of encroachment and compensatory afforestation and other conservation issue. Key highlights about the CEC composition: chairman and three expert members selected 3 year, and the chief coordinating the office is serving officer not below rank of DIG, forest director in GOI, and all of them have been experienced in the environment, forest, and wildlife function monitoring, implementation of the SCS order, and the place of report non-compliance before the center. And next, deal with applications made by any aggrieved person and jurisdictions, whole country, and deformed of state. If the state differ from the CEACS recommendation, it shall be referred to the center whose decision shall be final and binding. Concern lack of representation from civil society ad hoc panel comprised two members of NGOs. Global trends of the land degradation and drought. Data released in the United Nations Convention on Combat Desertification (UNCCD) is the sole legally binding international agreement for sustainable development, sustainable and land management. Key finding between 2015 to 2019, at least 100 million hectare land were degraded every year, amounting 402 million hectare in 4 years. It impacted the life in 1.3 billion people. At this rate, restoring 1.5 billion hectare of land by 2030 is essential to achieve a land degradation natural neutral world. India's initiative to check and land degradation. India joined and voluntary bond challenge pledge to bring the restoration of 26 million hectare of degraded and deforested land by the year 2030. Desertification and land degradation atlas of India, 5 state-wise area of degraded land. Integrated Watershed Management Program, National Mission for Green India, Sustainable Land and Ecosystem Management Program, National Afforestation Program. Region extreme weather condition, drought, excessive use of the fertilizer and pesticides, salination, climate change, etc. LDN is the state whereby amounting of the quality of land resource necessary to support the ecosystem to enhance the food security and remain stable and increase within specified temporal and spatial scale. Um, Earlier, UNESCO has released the 2018 to 2030 strategy framework that focused on mitigate, adopt, and manage the land degradation, mobilize the financial and non-financial resources, and improve the conditions of land degradation through participation. Ecocide refer to the unlawful wanton act committee with the knowledge with there is no substantial livelihood of the widespread or long-term damage of the environment being caused by these acts. Arthur Gladstone in 1970 was first to link the environmental destructions with the genocide when the referring to use an Agent Orange to herbicide by the US during Vietnam War. Ecocide is currently recognized as the crime in several countries, though used in the certain case of references by the court. India is yet to make it an offense. Extreme water stress. New data from the World Resource Institute, a global research organization, show that one quarter of the global population faced extremely high water stress. 25 countries, including India, face extremely high water stress each year. A country facing extreme water stress mean it using a list of around 80% of the available supply. High water stress mean it is withdrawing 40% of its supply. Other key finding: 50% of world population 50% of world population live under high water stress condition for at least 1 month of the year. 31% of global GDP will be exposed to higher water stress by 2050. India, Mexico, Egypt, and Turkey and account for over half of exposed GDP in 2050. 60% of the world irrigated agriculture face extremely high water stress. Cause of the global water stress, increased water use, lack of the investment in the water infrastructure, and unsustainable water use policies increase the variability due to the climate change, etc. Recommendation improve the water governance through nature-based solution and green infrastructure. Consider the program like Depth for Nature Swamp and the commitment to invest the mangrove restoration of wetland conservation, switching the water efficient crop, and cities should develop the urban water resilience action plan. Initiative taken in India National Water Mission Water Conservation Initiative, like as under the scheme of Atal Bhujal Yojana, EDC, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Catch the Rain, and Sahi Fasal campaign. Uh, क्या है Atlantification. Atlantification is making the Arctic Ocean saltier and warmer. Atlantification is a process in which the warm water from Atlantic is being advanced into the Arctic Ocean in increasing amount, thereby making some part of the Barents Sea to more closely resemble in Atlantic. You can see the Arctic Ocean, and Palm State and Greenland and Barents Sea and Norwegian Sea, Norway. Artificial reef. Department of Fisheries promoting AR under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada um, Yojana for rejuvenating coastal fisheries. AR technology inversion and used to rehabilitation of the improve the natural habitat, increase the productivity and manage the aquatic resource including habitat and enhancement. Advantage क्या है? Reduce wave damage on the coast, help to regenerate of the marine ecosystem and act as the carbon sink. Enhance the recreational fisheries ecotourism, creating suitable area for diving and reducing conflict, and restrict the bottom traveling in near shore area. Electrified the flex fuel vehicle. World first prototype of the BS6 stage second. Electrified the flex fuel vehicle launched. This vehicle has both the flex fuel engine as well as an electric powertrain. It offers higher use of ethanol combined with the better fuel efficiencies. EFFV has an internal combustion engine that can run more than one type of fuel or even a mixture of fuels such as the petrol and ethanol. For example, E85, which has 85% ethanol fuel and 15% of gasoline of other hydrocarbon by volume, benefit lower harmful pollutant emissions like carbon monoxide, sulfur, etc. Reduce the import and dependence on the crude oil. Drawbacks: lower mileage compared to the traditional gasoline, and use of water-intensive crops such as the sugarcane production of ethanol, etc. Bharat Stage 6. Bharat State emission standards are laid down to regulate the output of air pollutant from internal combustion engine and spark ignition engine equipment. Government has decided to leapfrog directly from BS4 to BS6 emission norm April 1, 2020. Sorry, 2020. The fuel equality for improved significantly from the BS4 to BS6 norm by reducing the permeable sulfur content by 80% from 50 phase per million ppm maximum 10 ppm. Ethanol blending petrol program, the targeting of 10% of ethanol blending ethanol supply year ESY 2021 to 22 has already been achieved. The national policy on the biofuel 2018 targeting 20% of blending of the ethanol in petrol by ESY 2025 to 26. Marine light pollutions. According to the study of Journal Aquatic Conservation, marine light pollution threatened coastal marine system. Light pollution, also known as the artificial light at night, is an excessive misdirected on the obtrusive artificial light in the environment. Source of light for marine ecosystem: natural source, sunlight, moonlight, starlight, and bioluminescent light, result of the endogenous biochemical reaction. Artificial light: city light for offshore oil and gas platform, wind farm and island development. Significant of light of the marine ecosystem. Ocean is generally divided into three zones based on the amount of the sunlight it receives, that is euphotic and dysphotic, 200 to 1000 meter mm, and amphotic zone below 1000 meter. When marine organisms have a visual system guided by light and solar and lunar cyclone to regulate their life event and egg hatching, etc. Impacts of the alien behavior change, mating, reproductive, and symbiosis and inter the species interactions, impact and physiology. Example: hormones and metabolism and growth and photosensitivity system as species get disturbed. Suggestion: use red light in the coastal area and build the barriers against the artificial light and stabilize the marine conservation area, international dark sky area, reduce light pollution during the critical period of marine communities, advancement of the better alternative to cruises, the lighthouse, etc. Delhi framework on farmers' right. Delhi Framework on the Farmers' Right. Global Symposium of the Farmer Right adopted the Delhi Framework of the Farmer Right. GSPFR Global Symposium on Farmer Right. Treaty on the Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture. For Food Agriculture Organization PGRFA are the raw material that form the basic and crop varieties and include the seed and all other plant genetic material. Key highlight: the life framework creating functional synergy across different UN instrument, ITP, GRFA, CBD, United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People, etc. for realization of the farmer right, establish support farmer manage seed system for the traditional varieties and create self-sustainable production and making the value chain, building the farmer-centric partnership opportunities including the South-South Triangular and regional operation. ITP-GRFA, also known as the Seed Treaty, as a major international agreement to conserve, use and manage the PGRFA around the world. And next, it is the legally binding agreement that was adopted in the 2001 and entered into the force in 2004. India's party, ITP-GRFA, makes it possible to share the plant genetic resource across the border through a equipped multilateral system of access and benefit sharing. India has enacted the Production Plant Varieties and Farmers' Right Act 2001 to safeguard the interest of farmer and people who is engaged in their conservation and improvement for plant genetic resource. Normal Borlaug Field Award for Field Research and Applications. Dr. Swati Nayak and India Scientist International Rice Research Institution was named the recipient for the prestigious award in 2023. She is recognized for the innovative approach to engaging the smallholder farmer, demand-driven rice and system, and adoption of the climate resilience and nutrition rice varieties. $10,000 award of recognition exceptional science-based achievement in international agreement and food production by individual under the age of 40, endowed by the Rockefeller Foundation. Walking leave. An international research team has described seven previously unknown species for leaf insect Phyllidae family, also known as the walking leaf. About walking leaf, they are usually green insects and are known for their leaf-like appearance. Distribution is inland is the Indian Ocean across part of the mainland, South Asia and Southeast Asia to Papua New Guinea and Australia. In the western Pacific, males and smaller than females. Kylingsia jangi. Research have been invested in nearly 520 million year-old fossil of Quilencia jiangyi found in China. New findings reveal that Quilencia spotted three types on its head, along with pair of the claws that have possibly used to catch the prey. For the fossil part of the Cambrian Chengjiang poeta, a group of the exceptionally preserved animal Quilencia is related to the arthropods. You can see that. Myth 1. Food Safety and Standard Authority India has the recognized the Myth 1 Bos frontalis as the food animal. Food animal are those that are raised and used for the food production and consumption of human about Mythion species, ruminant species of Bovidae family and habitat Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram and found in the Paris, Bangla and parts of Bangladesh and Myanmar and Bhutan. State animal of both Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Animal to have gore but are smaller in size. Categorized can help check its declining the population. Earlier 2022, Himalayan yak are accepted as the food animal by the FSI. मिथुन you can देख सीधे मिथुन 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 बोला गया मैंने मिथुन है and Te- Teru- Terrigorigla intermedica. Scientists of Zoological Survey of India have discovered the new species marine first from West Bengal. New species commonly known as the gurnards or sea robins belong to family of Triglydidae and there are a total 178 species of this family worldwide. They have a very long and slender opercular spines and short lateral spines. This distinct character includes the distinct pectoral fin with black membrane on inner surface and white posterior margin of teeth, small white spot basically in the fin. Red fire ant. Red fire ant, one of the world's most invasive species, have been found in Europe for the first time. Native South America, however, spread in United States, Mexico, Caribbean, China, and Australia. Communication through the chemical staging, secretion, and stridulation sound are produced by the rubbing of the drumming on one body part against another. Invasive species drive front and animal extinctions threaten food security and exacerbate environmental catastrophes. Sago serve a cooperative society received GI tag for its sago produce in Salem. Sago is derived from the raw tropicas and in the form of small hard globules are pale and pearl white in color. Tropica is the horticulture crop and grow in the tropical warm humid climate and rainfall for over 100 centimeters per annum. Sago comprises high carbohydrate and content and it is low in the protein, fat, mineral, vitamin, etc. It is easy to digest and provide rapid energy. Agombi forest. The amount of rainfall received in Agumbe has reduced compared to the other towns in the region. Agumbe in the Shivamoga district of Karnataka and refer to the Cherrapunji of the South India with an average rainfall at 8,000 mm. It is situated at the elevation of the 650 meters with the central western Ghat has the distinctive track of the tropical moist evergreen forest. It also located adjacent of the Samswara Wildlife Sanctuary and the Kudarmukh National Park. It is world one only natural habitat of the king cobra and referred to as the cobra capital. Siang River. The center proposed the construct to large barren of the Siang River, protect it from potential hazard posed of the massive Chinese dam being built in river the Sangpo in Tibet. China proposed a massive hydropower project on the Green Bend Yarlung Tsangpo River just before the river entered India in Siang. The Yarlung Tsang River starts from the Mansarovar Lake and flows steadily for more than 1,600 kilometers across the Tibet before bending toward the south east around the Namcha Barwa peak enter the India, gailing up Arunachal Pradesh where the river is known as Siang. The Siang flow down the Himalaya in the Arunachal Pradesh into the Assam Valley, join two other rivers and together become the Brahmaputra. Impact of China Mega Dam Project. Chinese control overflow. Chinese authorities will have control over the Sangpo flow, enabling them to store in the reservoir and redirect it to their regional water management need. Agriculture. Such a huge dam could hold back massive amount of silt carried by the river, which could affect farming in the area of downstreams. Silty soil is more fertile than other type of soil and it's good for growing crops. Seismological impact. Large scale infrastructure project evaluate seismic risk and during the downstream the population significantly. Ecological impact. Deforestation, soil erosion and landslide compound ecological vulnerabilities. Brahmaputra Dam project, you can see that the Great Bend and the Jirangmau Dam and Tibet and Arunachal Pradesh, Bhutan, Guwahati, in India. Project proposed China Dam could generate 60 gigawatt electricity, nearly the triple that of the three George Dam in central China, world biggest. Siang, India could respond building the 10 gigawatt dam in Arunachal Pradesh. And omega blocking. According to study of the recent flood of the Mediterranean region, were caused by low pressure system forming around omega block centered over the Netherlands. Omega block occur to low pressure system becoming cut from the main flow of the jet stream, sandwiching a high pressure system between them. It resembles of a Greek letter omega, omega on a weather map. Omega blocking events have also been linked to other extreme weather events in the past, including the Pakistan flood 2011 and 19 heat wave during May in France and July Germany etc. Low pressure and high pressure. Low pressure, you can see that the jet stream and the large persistence can lead drought. High pressure in, you can say that. And Kilauea volcano. Kilauea volcano has erupted again in U.S. state Hawaii. Kilauea Mount Kilauea, the world most active volcano mass in located in southern eastern part of the island of Hawaii. Hawaii state of U.S. volcano is vent in the crust of the earth from which eruption of the molten rock, hard rock and fragment and hot gases take place. Earthquake in Morocco. Earthquake is caused by the release of energy within the Earth lithosphere generating wave. Epicenter located in the Atlas Mountain region for the strongest earthquake in the region. Northward convergence of the Africa plate with respect to the Eurasian plate along with complex plate boundary. It was attributed with the oblique ridge faulting at the shallow depth within the Moroccan high Atlas mountain range. This type of faulting is common in area of the compression along with the convergent plate boundaries. A tectonic plate, you can see that Eurasian plate and Arabian Sea and African plate and Somalia plate, Indian plate. लास्ट न्यूज है आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब अंडर प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ भीष्म. India has built the world first disaster hospital called the Arogya Maitri Cube, which can be airlifted and reassembled in 72 cubes. These cubes contain medical equipment and supplies to support 200 survivors for 48 hours. These medical cubes have been indigenously developed under Project of Bhism, Bharat Health Initiative for the Sahyog, Hit and Maitri. India has already donated two Arogya Maitri cubes to Myanmar as a goodwill gesture and one being readied for donation to Sri Lanka. ओके ये वर्ल्ड फर्स्ट डिजास्टर हॉस्पिटल है कॉल्ड आरोग्य मैत्री. तो ठीक है, न्यूज़ यहीं पर खत्म होता है। कैसा लगा वीडियो बताइएगा ज़रूर। अगर पसंद आया तो लाइक से सब्सक्राइब करिए। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए जय हिंद, जय भारत।